Celestial rising, divine afternoon, and grand night to the beautiful deity watching this video. To divine reflection, divine messenger, and we are back with another divine mindful perspective. And today on Instagram, I pissed off some people today because, of course, a woman said men don't have Adam's apples anymore, and I pissed off somebody today. If you choose to and you enjoy these videos, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more divine messages. If I can make somebody mad today, my job is done. I think out loud and somebody can't fathom the inversion of what's actually going on because a lot of men don't actually have Adam's apples anymore. But because I can articulate why they don't have it anymore, basically an invert got mad and unfollowed me. And then two people liked it, like, cool, I don't care. And he was like, or she was like, yeah, I'm finna get on this train because ain't no way. Why were you riding a train that you were never on to begin with? Why are you following me if you can't fathom my thoughts? You followed me first. Now you mad because I'm gonna say and post things that I want to post out loud? Like, it makes no sense. But today we were talking about discussing levels of consciousness that a human being can actually go through or perceive. And the thing is too, once you go above and beyond the first level, you are now transcending what a human being can actually never perceive. And so, there actually is no order. But I'm doing this on Instagram as well. So the title I put was levels of consciousness that a human being can reach, and these levels of being are why secrets of light will crucify you when you are felt in higher realms. And then when I mean higher realms too, because it's like you're doing a dimensional meditative technique that you are teaching yourself to do against beings that are going to use tactics to guide you back into their enlightenment. That's why I say the secrets of light, because those are basically Luciferians. Now, that's exactly why too, they don't want you to actually pick up that call to follow the white rabbit. They don't want you to pick up that source. Go watch Transformers 1, the newest one that came out. It's still old, well, it's actually old now, but that newest Transformers. They were talking about the matrix of life or source, whatever the case may be, and how Optimus Prime, he was finding a codex for the matrix, and how Cybertron and Energon, all these, like, Energon's basically like the energy in Cybertron, and how that movie was actually interesting. But that's basically how Optimus Prime was able to understand who he was in the backstory before he became the Optimus allegiance for higher legions that guided him into having that source for the Allspark, or having that spark that came from the creator through a Cybertronian format of a Metatronian being that's literally a transformer, transforming the mindset through inversion. Now, the first one we got is initiate. The thing is, so when you're initiated, it does not mean physically, but it technically can mean in the physical. But physically, you are never initiated into a higher way of being. You had to actually initiate yourself into being a higher way of being by mentally being in a higher way of being for your higher self. Meaning that you had to be doing it for your higher self and not you. Because who are you inside of your higher self? And your higher self cannot be inside of you, but proceed outside of your perception as you are going internally into what you are being on the outward appearance of what your higher self actually has no appearance in. You feel me? Now, the initial stage for this awakening is where a person or a being will begin to recognize their path and their purpose. Not only just that, you will always be learning and you will shed old patterns. When you're being initiated, you are shedding the old layers of what you used to be. Not only that, you will recognize the path of your spiritual divinity and the purpose that you are going to be placing upon that entirety. I'm going to place some water into this cup real quick. But as you're doing that, you're going to be able to understand that you're beginning to, and all awakening is as well, an awakening is literally just you beginning to realize that the world that you used to live in never really mattered. The only that mattered was how you were able to take care of yourself mentally every single day by loving yourself into what you are dreaming of. Once you understand what the dream is, nothing else really matters at that point, because you were already initiating to being awakened. There are some, I kid you not, there are some people in this world who will never be awakened. They'll never be awakened. And whose fault is that if it's not your fault to actually be at fault into? That's not your fault at all whatsoever, so why would you care? You can care, of course, and show empathy, but by you caring, that's only degrading you and descending you into a lower way of being just like them. So don't be like them, be yourself. Love them, appreciate them, and speak affirmations for them. Don't pray for them. Why the fuck would you pray for energy that can just energize itself into being a higher way of being? That energy wants to stay comfortable in this descension, so let it descend in its own stagnation. That's not your effect to be affected by. Because what would that cause you to do? Be like them in their effect. The next one is a seeker. When you are a seeker, actually, before I give you that key point, the seeker is the one that wants to be the initiate, because once you've been initiated, you already understand what your purpose is going to be. On top of that, there is no purpose because you have to create your purpose by being purposeful in what you're living in, by what you're seeing, what you're experiencing. Once you experience enough life, you'll be able to actually start seeking things that you start creating. Your purpose is your creation. Purpose cannot create you to be more purposeful or more passionate in your purpose. No, you find purpose by actually getting away from pleasure, by actually getting away from things that are serving your physical or your ego and not your spirit. When you serve your spirit, you will know that your purpose actually has no purpose to create itself in. You do that for yourself. You make things up, and as you go along, you stay consistent in what you're loving or being compassionate in, or what you're being gracious in. That's when you start pouring your love into that title that you want to be successful in. When you're understanding spiritual knowledge and experiences as well, you are now going to be on a certain journey that's going to help you understand divine knowledge. Not only just divine knowledge, but you'll have a connection with divinity through that knowledge, because you are understanding that you are seeking out a bigger awareness of what is actually not being aware of itself in. When you are aware of what you're living in, the awareness of what you're living in cannot actually be defined of what it's actually not living in. So you start seeking out what you can't seek out in this realm of seekers. So when these seekers are watching you every single day by clouding the skies or even blocking off your pineal gland, just by degrading your ego every single day, by putting you in a mental prison, that's why you are the seeker to leaving that prison of your mind and seeing what you have to start focusing on outside of your mindset. But that's the problem though. Don't go outside of your mindset, because when you do, you begin to lose the sense of what you are being. So when you are staying inside of your mindset and you're understanding what you're thinking of, you are now seeking more information for you to start thinking of, and that goes beyond what you are seeking, because you cannot seek what you are thinking of, because what you're thinking of is what you're already observing right now. So you have to observe what you want to be in through the practices of your spirituality. But we're not calling ourselves spiritual, because a spiritual being would never be saying, oh, I'm a spiritual being. No, the fuck you're not. Because what is spirituality to a spiritual being that's experiencing the observation physically? When you're a disciple, that's number 3. On Instagram, I think we're on 9. I already did 8, but we're on 9. But I'm gonna give y'all all 10, because I love my YouTube reflections that watch the videos. But a disciple, so it's like, for example, student and sensei. I forgot the other name of it, but yeah, just like all the anime that you watch. So the teachers who will guide, I would say like I call it a guide, really. A teacher's like a guide, basically. But the guides who guard, or they're guiding the main character to become this great sensation through the show. That's literally what a disciple would be, because now that disciple that became successful always dedicate their success to their guidance, because that guidance was once a disciple just like them as well. So greatness will teach greatness no matter what. So for example, now people are calling me Unc, but that's the thing though, there are actually people who are willing to be a disciple to my teachings. The whole entire time I'm literally just talking to myself. So like when people call me Unc, I'm just like, why are you referencing a title that you're calling yourself? Not only just that, the things I'm teaching myself you can do as well. You don't have to copy the formula, just create your own formula. Be inspired by my formula, but don't sit here and just leech off of my formula to benefit your lifestyle. Now, if you get paid for it, hey, you gotta take that up with the Almighty Creator. I got nothing to do with that. But if you don't get paid for it, then by all means, find your own payment of your own formulas that you want to teach yourself into. Because when you're being a disciple, it's like now you're teaching yourself how you're able to start learning from other elders or guides that were able to guide themselves at your age that you're currently at right now. So because of that, you will be under a teacher or a mentor. Not only just that though, the stage that you'll be in through the mentor or the teacher will literally help you be disciplined from the practices and your self-reflection. When I mean discipline too from the practice and the self-reflection, that means that when you stay disciplined by teaching you to do something, for example, so it's like being mindful. I don't call it meditation, but being mindful, going out in nature and being grounded in your roots. When you're actually being grounded and you're with the wind and you're seeing the persuasion of what the contrast is showing you, now it's like you're being persuasive in what you want to write your thoughts into being. So when you're sitting in the wind and you're being mindful of the sound that's pressing upon your ears and your hair, and it's flowing through your body. You feel it on your skin. You're able to now be one with yourself in the element of wind or air. Now, as you're doing that, you're giving yourself more quality and more clarity and the quality of the air quality that's actually poisonous. But how are you able to bring more health into that poison that you're actually inhaling every single day? You have to exhale that. But no matter what you do, you still inhale that bullshit every single day, because of course you're living in the womb and the realm that's causing you to die every single day, because of course that's the whole point of life. You live to die. So what are you afraid of? Yourself? We all gotta go through that shit. You cannot escape what you never were. So why fear it? Why fear a phase that you already dream in? Sheesh. And the thing is too, there are no students and there are no teachers. So there are no disciples. There are no seekers, there are no initiates. These are all ways of thinking beyond third dimension. So these go beyond 7th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 10th dimensions. You can't put a number on dimensions anyways. It's all a way of being. How are you being in vibrations of ascension? You have to actually ascend your thoughts and articulate them the best way you can. Because the thing is too, the truth can't be defined, nor talked about, nor articulated. So why be mad? I don't give a fuck if niggas get mad at my information, bitch. It don't come from me anyways. You imagine being mad at what the simulation gave you in your mindset, and you mad at me for saying it out loud? What? And I'm delusional? Crazy. The adept. This being the adept is very profound in their practices through spirituality and consciousness, through religion, through Satanism, through Wicca, through occultism, through Hermeticism, through just all this different mysticism as well, alchemy. There have been different practices, sorcery, different practices that they can be defined in. But as you're the adept for that phase 4, you're now going to a deep understanding of the universal cosmic laws of spirituality. Not only just that, you'll be able to affirm higher ways of consciousness every single day in your life, because you're able to understand that the practices of being a spiritual being, it literally comes with being authentic every single day. So by fasting, drinking your water, eating fruit, by taking care of yourself, journaling, reading, actually teaching yourself, doing things, and things too, do these things regardless of how people view you. If you're stuck in people's mindsets or frame, why do you care? People have to sit here and validate your opinion because they don't have one of themselves. That's why they care so much about how you view the world, because they can't view it like that. So when you understand that, you practice and you do things for the benefit of yourself. It is selfish to a certain degree, and I don't mean that in masonry, but I mean to that degree of, for one, you're going above higher orders or their way of being. Because as you're the adept, you're now transcending a disciple. You become your own mentor. By you doing that, you will do a practice every single day that will make sure that you are being mindful of the love you have for yourself. Meaning that you get up and you say thank you, you show gratitude, and you give yourself 5 things that you're grateful for. You take care of your hygiene, you shower, you wash your hair, take care of your facial hair if you have any, take care of your genitalia, take care of just your whole avatar, take care of your feet, the back of your ears, take care of the back of your legs, take care of your ass, take care of your anus, take care of your butt cheeks, take care of all these different things. And yeah, it may be funny, maybe hee hee ha ha, whatever, but you gotta actually sanitize and be healthy minded for your ego and your avatar. Actually be clean. Not only just that, when you're going outside as well, give more gratitude, give more life to nature, because people are littering every single day. People are cutting down trees every single day. People are building satanic structures every single day. Those houses that we're living in right now, it's on a ley lines. It's basically harming our mother. They had to dig up our mother's avatar, her skin, her roots, and they had to put a satanic structure in order to put this energy inside these houses, or these basically enclosed systems of experiments. So not only have they been harvesting and taking a part of our mother's organs and harvesting them, but are putting it into a structure that we are living in and being comfortable in. No, so that's the thing why you have to actually be profound in what you're practicing in, by doing things that benefit your spirit, not your flesh. Now, of course, what you're doing will benefit your flesh anyway. And the thing is, it's all a contradiction. So contradict everything, question everything. It's neither right nor wrong. When you understand that, you will always please your flesh. But that's the thing though. How can you contradict that for your spirit? Because like, are you watching TV to learn or just to be entertained? Are you playing a game to benefit yourself or to teach somebody? Or are you just addicted to the game and benefiting yourself while being comfortable finding pleasure in the game? It's like, are you just having sex because you're addicted to it? Or are you having alchemy because you want to actually empower this woman that you're laying with, or this man, or whatever you're into? Like, what's the intention for what you're mentoring or teaching? Because once you reach the adept phase, people will literally submit to your teachings that you teach yourself because they know there's a source within you that they don't want to define, because we know what that source is. And if we call it God, now we're talking about Satan. Now, this master of consciousness for phase 5. And I call it a phase too because, I call it a phase because you actually go through a phase. It's like a wave of feeling. Not a feeling, but intuitive knowing of what you're feeling at the moment currently. Meaning that you can feel all these different ways of consciousness right now all together as one. When you are unified in consciousness. That's exactly why the less you talk, the more you know. The more you talk, the less you know. But the less you know is actually what you never knew. So what you never knew keeps you more wise in your wisdom. That's why you're dumb to what you found through the wisdom or the aspect of your knowledge that you learned or studied behind closed doors. What's done in the dark will come to the light. So whatever you give out to the universe is what you already been researching behind closed doors. So when the camera's cut on, the lights are on or whatever, it ain't no thing to it because you already knew this shit. The being who has mastered the physical and spiritual realms, not only just that, when they have been, I would say, seen as a mentor or a teacher or just a student as well in their teachings, now you'll be able to guide others. Not only just that, you'll have a balance of your ego and your higher self. So you'll literally have mastered logic. And when you have mastered logic, you still can't logically master logic because that's not actually logical. It's actually illogical to master logic because, for one, logic can't be mastered. That's literally a contradiction because what is logic to itself? It would never make sense. Therefore, you cannot make sense of the master. That's why it's the master. The master is a being for a reason because, for one, that being is not actually here. It's being a higher way of source. Therefore, that source is actually defined as what we will call God. But God cannot be articulated nor defined. So why the fuck are we calling masters or teachers guides and gods and goddesses, kings and queens and this and that? Because we are attached to titles that actually cannot define what the mirage is never being. But it's being that imagery of what you can precisely see and the imagery of your divinity as you're becoming more aware of the initiation that you are going through in your mind. Because once you master the physical and the spiritual realms, you beat the game. So you can not just say chill, but when you master this physical and the spiritual, when you master both of those together, every day you are working to satisfy one being. That's why you just stop caring after a while. Once you reach the 5th phase, the master mentality of consciousness, like once you master like your mind, you can actually master consciousness. I hope you know that. When you master consciousness, you have now observed the vacuum of that consciousness to the point to where you put it in a chokehold because it was not actually massive as you thought when you were a child. Those thoughts were just so massive to the point to where now you are enlarged and above what that master or the mastery of this massive way of thinking has never been. It was so minimal that you let it be enlarged because of your fear of yourself. You feared yourself so much that the dark parts of your mind were enslaving you. So you enslaved your enslavement. So who really the boss of your mind? Who really the slave master? Who really the oppressor when it's just you? Ascended. I love this one right here. Because when you are ascended, for one, that means that you did away with earthly attachments. That means like the physical does not matter to you. It doesn't. It's cool to live and experience, have fun, all this and that. But when you transcended ascension, you don't care about this descendant moral reality of beings that lose their morals every single day for a dollar bill. Can't respect it. Once you start hearing, because the thing is too, when you're ascended, when you're above consciousness and you have that feeling of radiation for your energy, people will project their lifestyle onto you because they want to be heard. So let them talk. When they talk and you hear them out, they will start telling on themselves. Listen. When you listen and you don't judge, you can literally understand where beings are coming from. Now, when you do that, they're telling you these things for a reason. As that happens, you sit there and tell yourself, okay, You think that you're going through these things and you're telling me them because you think that I have the answers to your problems. But when I tell you what you're going through and how you're going through it, and I give you a contradiction or ultimatum, you may not accept it because it won't fit how you are defining your defining of the life that you are actually defined in. But you can't be defined in this reality because you are giving yourself excuses to define. So because you are vocalizing your victim mentality, you want me to be stuck in your mentality as well, to be stuck in your loop that you are going through. So because of that, you want me to give you an answer that's comfortable for you to lie in still. No, that won't be truthful. So when I give you the truth, are you going to hate me for it or despise me for it? Will you listen? Will you take the information and alchemize it? Or will it just go in one ear out the other? Who knows? After it's done, you don't give a fuck anymore. Because why? You have to focus on you. They just harvested your energy and your time. They wasted their time, and that's a problem too. When you are a divine being and you go above limitations of the human mind, when you're talking, the thoughts that flow through your perception, they are so like philosophical, not just philosophical, but they're just open-minded to the point to where that a closed mind would have to sit there and hate in silence. They would have to hate in silence. They had to, because why? They want to think like that in secret. All you gotta do is, for the envious being watching, detach from the simulation. Stop caring. And that's the hardest thing for beings to do. Beings are so easily attached to the simulation that they will let their thoughts run them away from their actual way of being in the spiritual realm. Sad. But, oh yeah, and the thing is as well, the beings that are also operating at a higher way of ascension for higher dimensions, they can choose to reincarnate to help other beings on the path that they are walking in right now. When you reach this level of ascension, you can come back and do the exact same thing. The only difference is you can be a guide for other beings. So look at people's certain names and all that. Their names are like that for a reason. Because why? Because they are placing themselves through a different source for the script that they are projected to be in through these celestial bodies. They're in these embodiments of their bodies because they are observing what their script is being through gematria, through the English language, through numerical values, adding up numbers and letters together. 1 is A, 2 is B, C is 3, yeah, so on and so forth. So because of that, that's literally how consciousness is able to make itself physical through the language of God or math or numbers. Numbers from our simulation. I hope you understand that. Now, so in Buddhism, it's called Bodhisattva. I may have pronounced that wrong, but when I seen that and I looked it up, I understood that this is a being that delays their own enlightenment to assist other beings in being liberated in their own freedom. So in Mayan culture and Buddhism and all that, these beings understand where their destination is going because, of course, their spiritual practices are ingrained into their DNA as soon as they're born. Now, because of that, they choose that they want to help other beings reach that same exact liberation as well. But that all depends on the being's intentions for intentionally doing what they are practicing, being spiritual in. But they can't actually be spiritual in their practices because, of course, if you're actually doing a spiritual practice, that would still be satanic. And beings cannot understand that calling because, for one, we're name-calling energy for our nature. Therefore, if you want to be unconscious, that is satanic. Consciously, Satanism does not fucking exist, nor does Satan, nor does satanic nature. Therefore, what are these things? You got to transcend both of them to even understand that. That's exactly why I stopped right there, because for one, people will fall into a rabbit hole that they still can't pull themselves out of. So I can go fishing for your mind every single day. I can show your mindset. Oh, not quick enough. Hold on, wait. Oh, got a big one. Oh, shit. Hold on, honey, get the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, now you looking like that's your consciousness. You're sitting here fishing for it. I'm like, oh, got a big one. Reel it in and shit. That's all we do with your mind every single day. That's all divine beings do. We're so unconscious to what we think we know that we play in ways of thinking every single day. We play with information because why? We don't give a fuck about it. We know what it is. We talk about it. But do we really care spiritually? No. It's fun to talk about because why? We're doing it for a compassionate intention. And that's really to help other beings be aware of what they can be free of. And that's what? Your mind. Literally. When you're free of your mind, you can't be bound to the constraints of this realm when you detach from it. And your detachment is the love you have for your attachment for the Almighty Creator. The Almighty Creator will not want you to be attached to this realm that's ran by your mind. Now, of course, love your mind. Guide your mind, though, because your mind can be guided by your higher mind. And that higher mindset can still follow you no matter where you go. Life is a fucking thought, not a fucking reality. Because what is real to your thoughts when your thoughts aren't real? Can you see your thoughts? Yes. But wait a minute. How do you define that? How is this real when I'm still dreaming in reality? Guardian. Now, a lot of guardians are tall. Majority of people in society are not tall. And the taller you get, the more positioning you have in the realms of guardianship. And the thing is as well, your spirit is very large. Now, beings who watch other beings develop into their conscious spiritual side of their physical embodiment for what they're being in. And not only just that, these beings can also be guidance and your protector through infinite lifetimes if you choose to be guided by them as they choose to do so as well. Meaning that the beings that you watch or you understand or you follow, these are the same. So for example, the beings that watch my videos all the time, for one, you are basically watching a higher guidance of your own guardianship, meaning that if you were my sibling, I would guard you like my own. If you're somebody that I'm close with, I would guard you like my own, because why? That's how much love I have for a being who can guard myself like myself. Meaning that for one, if I chose to, I would choose to take a bullet for anybody that I love, because why? This realm doesn't really mean anything to me. I've already reached the liberation of my mindset anyway, to the point where my mind can't control me anymore. I will give it some leeway here and there, because just like, you're the ego, you still a baby to me. But spiritually, you can't control my spirit no more, bitch. I control you, ego, and you know that. Therefore, make a goddamn video. What we doing right now, making a video. Even if my ego doesn't want to do that, I still guard my ego. That's exactly why I have to be aware. So it's like, for example, there's some beings who can drink wine or alcohol or smoke or whatever, but they can't control that way of being in their submission of their mindset. But if I was to do that, I can control my thoughts and still drive around in them, still walk normal in them, still talk normal in them, still be aware in them, because I've done the mental work behind closed doors to the point where when I go out in public, it won't affect me no more. Because why? We're still being purified in our energy or our way of being, our way of thinking. So as you're a guardian, you'll make sure no matter what. So like, I'm taller than my mom, I tower over my mom, but no matter what, I'll protect that woman with my life. Because why? That's my bearer of light. She gave me enlightenment that, I still to this day have a hard time comprehending, but that's the whole illusion of what love is. That's why as guardians, we gotta protect the bloodline or the cathedral. You have to. And if you don't protect that bloodline, you might as well fucking die. That's all there is to it. It's either protect, defend your honor, your house, your ego, or just die. That's all beings have accepted in society as well. And that's our nature. That has been ingrained into our bloodline. Protect the bearer of light or just die in this realm. But the thing is that when you're dying, all you're doing is observing yourself coming back to life again. And as you're doing that too, so that's why a lot of you ask me questions, because for some strange reason, you understand that I know something. I act like I don't. And the thing is too, a lot of y'all find that amusing. It's like, nigga, you know that you know something, but you act like you don't, for my safety and yours as well. Because when you know too much, you can get killed for that. Avatar. So how much do I really know? How much do you really know? Yeah. Now the avatar that we're being in. So at this point, so now we gotta align all of them. Because now remember, these are all alignments of vibrations. You understand? These are not positionings in life, by the way. These levels of consciousness are basically all alignments of your energy that you are visibly, internally embodying every single day. Initiate, seeker, disciple, adept, master, ascended, Bodhisattva, guardian. Now we're on the avatar. Now the avatar is a divine being that will incarnate for a specific reasoning or a mission or a journey or a path or a teaching or a calling. Not only just that, this calling or the journey that they are on is to literally ascend other beings with the intention of source that comes with love, and that source of unity by being with one being. that goes above all beings considered to be God. Now, not only just that, so for example, they will, as these divine beings, as they are ascending consciousness, so you can say Jesus as well, Yeshua, Yahuwah, whatever you want to call your higher self, Lucifer, your ego, doesn't fucking matter. We understand that these beings are literally coming here to show other beings the awareness of restoring balance with divinity. Because we already got beings being altered at birth. Not only just that, these beings are not loving themselves. So here's one thing. It's one thing to be inverted at birth and you're pushing idol, transhumanism, AI, hybrid worship due to Baphomet or God worship. Not only just that, if you are inverted at birth, you know yourself, like you know that you're inverted, but you're spreading awareness. That right there is you loving yourself. You can still reach these levels of consciousness, by the way. There's no, like, you don't gotta be a biological male or woman to be somebody. No. It doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, lesbian, transgender, doesn't matter what the fuck you are. You can access on top of that too, your skin color as well. We are all thought processes. You cannot descend just because of your fucking skin color or your sexuality. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard beings say in this realm. Oh, if you're gay, you can't go to heaven. What the fuck is gay when beings are having sex with their own mirage? Like, it's outstanding to me. Now, because of that, understand, you can still access higher ways of consciousness. Why is that? Because you know what your purpose is, to uplift other beings, understanding that we are in spiritual warfare to this day, every single day. The sun can shine all at once. That still does not mean that beings in the hospital are being altered at birth every single day. We still got idol worshipers who are actually not celebrities. These are ancient deities who are emulating cosplay as celebrities that people worship. And then niggas wonder why they put your higher self on a fucking cross. To let you know the mockery in front of your face and what you're going to do about it. Sit there, take a picture of it, and go on about your day. That's exactly why they will mock us every single goddamn day. No matter how you feel, because who's going to do something about it? Literally, as you go on phase 9, when you incarnate into being a higher way of being and you restore balance into this imbalanced world, you will understand, for one, you stop trying and you just do it for yourself. When you do it for yourself, you do it for others, because others will know what you're doing it for. That's why Jesus Christ would never walk around villages or whatever to say, oh, I'm Jesus, I'm Christian, I'm practicing Christianity, so I'm going to put it on to you. No. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Why is Lucifer telling me that? Why is Lucifer saying the kingdom of God is within me? So why are you down here telling me that? Why is the kingdom of God not within you? Why are you not up there? What did you do? So what kingdom is that? Because for one, if you're telling me the kingdom of God is within me, that's satanic, my nigga. Because why is God talking to me? That's why I would never tell you that the kingdom of God is within you. But the thing is, though, heaven actually is within you. But see, man, that's the beauty of the English language, right? It's all fucking Luciferian. So because of that, the truth has no sound. So therefore, what did I say telepathically? That's how we are able to actually communicate. If you can understand those thoughts, that's how we know we're on the same capacity of consciousness. When human beings can understand that, when we can start making videos without a sound. So if we can start making videos for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour, 30 minutes, without making a sound, and people in the comment section actually understand those thoughts, that's how I know we have ascended. Till then, we are still dumb. We're still dumb. And lastly, Nirvana Moksha, a liberated solar awareness that actually seen freedom and came back into understanding what freedom cannot be freeing. That's Nirvana. Nirvana is like seeing a euphoric equation, that you can't add up or divide. But once you try to divide that, you now become liberated into seeing that freedom of that feeling that is not actually feeling free anymore. A solar awareness that was able to be free mentally and spiritually as well, they will go through a cycle of birth and rebirth every single day constantly. Not only just that, you will be in pure unity every single day. But not every single day, because for one, you are days every single day. And the thing is too, the days of the week don't even fucking exist, because what day is it today? You may say Tuesday, but guess what though? Tuesday is not a real fucking day. So what day are you actually living in? Days of the week are only here to do what? Distract you from being with yourself. Now, when you are unified with divinity, you'll be able to choose, and when you're with divinity, you'll be able to choose if you want to reincarnate into this dimension again. Because you reincarnate into this dimension because you love to guide other beings to the water, never make them drink it. That's what a liberated nirvana or a being in nirvana would actually do, because when we leave this dimension, there actually is no level of being. Because the beings of dimensions that have levels to their awareness are not actually aware of themselves. No matter how high you get in the afterlife, you still got to be reborn again, because you can't go anywhere. That's why people cannot fathom forever, because why? It's forever. Imagine seeing your thoughts in a line that goes forever. And when you're levitating or you're observing, like, so you're flying in an astral plane, you're seeing that line of consciousness. You understand that from one, damn, this shit never ends. That's the whole goddamn point. You live on forever and you're going to die forever. You're going through the whole cycle of this realm of consciousness forever. So when people can't understand that, they start fearing and start panicking, because it's like, oh my God, what's going to happen? It's a rabbit hole. Life is a rabbit hole. Understand and energize your energy into loving what you can never be. When you reach the phase 10 of a liberated solar awareness, you are now able to, and I don't believe in reincarnation, but you can come back somehow, some way, and incarnate into a realm of your thoughts again. Not only just that, the thoughts you have again will now be able to do what this time? Guide other beings into how they can be as well. And the thing is as well, a wise being will never tell you their tricks, but you know the trickery through the videos. Because somehow, some way, you still like these videos. Somehow, some way, beings will tell me, at first I couldn't understand you, but now I'm slowly understanding what you're telling me. How is that possible when I never said a thing? Have a great divine day, divine reflection.